Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Thursday, the 3rd of March 2022. In today's Millwall news, we got the March update from Mr. Chairman, Steve Kavanagh. This is from millfc.co.uk, the latest update from Millwall's CEO. So what's he said? What has he got to say for himself? Very popular this is, 5,634 views as of recording. It's great to be writing to you on the back of 4 consecutive wins, including the most recent victory over Sheffield United, which was played in front of one of the biggest home crowds of the season so far. There has been a real energy, vibrancy and togetherness on show between the players and the staff and supporters, both home and away for several weeks now, which is having a very tangible impact on performances and results. Long may that continue. I'm pleased to announce that we will be going on sale with season tickets for 22-23 very soon, that's next season. Internally, we have thought long and hard about what to do in terms of pricing as part of the need to increase our revenues as much as possible given the lasting effects of COVID-19 and now rampant inflation, which is having a dramatic impact on our finances. But a consistent theme throughout those discussions was that this is a working class football club, and adhering to that history and tradition is at the heart of all our decision making. As such, during a time when the price of our energy, fuel, water and more is rising, not just for us but for you as well, we cannot justify also increasing the cost of coming to watch Millwall, and therefore general admission season ticket prices will be frozen. So next season, general admission season ticket prices will be frozen. What does that mean? What does that mean? See, you got to read between the lines here, because these people that have a way with words, they have a way of using the words to bamboozle you. General admission season ticket prices will be frozen. What does that mean? I think that means the bog standard, basically, what is it, adult 21 to 60? I think they mean that one, like the one that most people buy. For want of a better word, the normal one, not the concession one. So that's going to be frozen. So what does that mean? Now, the over 60s one and the kids one's very decently priced, like maybe too much, so maybe that will be going up a little bit. Maybe the over 61 will be going up a little bit. So you got to read between the lines here what he's saying. So he said general admission season ticket prices will be frozen. What does that mean? Maybe it's what I've just said it means, but I don't know. The board believe this is absolutely the right decision to make, but regrettably isn't something we can guarantee for next year or beyond. Our revenues are lower than a lot of our championship rivals, and if we are to continue competing at this level we currently are, then that will have to change. That is incumbent on the club and its staff to do so. Part of their drive is to continue increasing attendance size. Hopefully with a price freeze in mind we can retain existing season ticket holders and also grow that number for the next campaign. Is by growing revenues through attendances that will allow us to limit passing cost increases onto the fan base. That's true. The better the crowds are that we get, the more money the club can make, and then they won't have to bump up the ticket prices, which is obviously true. But there's a lot of games that when we have big crowds, it's generally because it's a big game that people want to go and watch that. Certain games attract a certain type of Millwall fan, one that doesn't go to many games. Maybe they go to 6 a year, and we might be getting one of them next season. Maybe Leeds might be coming down, so that might help in terms of, yeah, that will certainly help depending on who is in the league. Teams like Leeds, Newcastle, that will help. Another London club, we're going to be losing Fulham, so that's not good. And in terms of who's coming up from League One, it looks like Rotherham again. Is it Rotherham again? Yeah, so it depends on who's in the league, because you think that, so 3 teams are going up, 3 teams are going down, or 3 teams are coming up from League One, 3 teams are coming down from the Premier League. So that's an extra. That's 6 different teams, and that can change a lot in terms of those 6 home games who we get. It can be quite a difference. So at the moment, at the top of League One, we have Rotherham United, Wigan. That's not good. If Wigan go out, that will not be good. They do not bring a lot of fans. Milton Keynes Dons, that might be decent. Have they been in the Championship before? I don't think they have. Oxford United, Sheffield Wednesday. Well, Sheffield Wednesday would be good, and Sunderland would be good. They bring a lot of fans as well, so that would be good. If one of them went up. And at the moment, in terms of the Premier League, we have Norwich City. They bring a fair few. Maybe the Brighton might bring a few more now that if they're at the top end of the Championship rather than the bottom of the Premier League. Watford might be coming down. Remarkably, Everton are just above the relegation zone. Can you imagine Everton in the Champions League, in the Championship? We got Leeds just above them. Burnley. Now Burnley's that's not really a big draw. Everton will be. If we get Everton, it'll be a sellout. Leeds as well. Brentford coming down. They'll bring a fair few, but I don't think our fans will be that interested in going to that. And then you've got Newcastle United, but they're only 4 points off the drop zone. So if Newcastle come down, that probably would be a big game. And then it's just those teams that I've mentioned involved. So it does depend massively on the on which clubs are in the Championship in terms of how our revenue will be. So, like I said, 6 different teams will be changed next season, and if those 6 teams coming in are big enough draws, they bring a lot of away fans, that will help us out massively. So hopefully that will help us out. The board believe this is absolute. Oh no, I've read that one. Last month I made it very clear just how angry, frustrated and disappointed we were as a club following the decision to postpone the game at Blackburn. The 471 Millwall fans who made the long journey in some pretty horrific weather, and yeah, the traffic was a bit shit as well, wasn't it? Would have felt even worse, and since then we've tried to do all we can to put it right for them and the wider fan base. The rearranged fixture takes place next Tuesday, and as communicated previously, all coach travel will be free. Travelling to Ewood Park on a midweek night is even harder than on a Saturday. Because of that, we help to make sure the game will be streamed. Fantastic, that is good. So the game will be streamed on iFollow, which is not a given for midweek or rearranged games or both. Yeah, you can't just, because they don't want clubs just moving their games off of Saturday 3 o'clock and like to Friday night and to Sunday and then or to Monday night, and then just showing the games on to their fans on online. They don't want clubs doing that. They want the Saturday 3 o'clock experience to continue onwards. Even though in the Premier League, like half the games are on Sundays usually, which is a bit shit, because then we all can't go to church, isn't that right? I'm sure a lot of you do that, don't you? Where are we? So those who can't make it can still watch and support their team. I'd like to remind fans that we receive 100% of the revenue from iFollow Match Pass sales, whether we're playing at home or away. So by following it in this way, you are watching your team and also supporting the club with a crucial revenue stream in the process. If you were one of the 471 fans, then please check your email inboxes or your letterboxes in the coming days as we sent something over for you. What do you think that might be? Let me guess. It's probably money off the club shop. It's probably something like it's £10 off. It's a 10. I don't know. I'm guessing it's going to be something like £10 off in the Lion store when you spend £50 or more. Something, you know those kind of things. Away from coach travel and streaming, we did also request that match ticket prices were reduced both as a gesture to Mill fans, also to help drive the number of away fans in attendance. But this is of course Blackburn's prerogative, and they decided against doing so, which is very disappointing as fans make football both home and away. Well, they did give us 400 more tickets, so if they reduce the price, then it would completely kick off. And we know this from the past with Mill fans, or most people generally. If the price was lowered and then the 400 who just bought it now got a lower price, the ones who paid the higher price of 471, they would be thinking like, what the fuck, we're getting fucked again. We got fucked by Blackburn, now we're getting fucked again because we paid more, so they are going to want a different sent to them as a check or something. You know what I mean? We are pleased to welcome Alex Aldridge back to the club this week. He rejoins Millwall as Director of Football Operations and Recruitment with a wider remit than in his previous role, and will work closely with Gary Rowett, Scott Fitzgerald and other senior football and club staff. Part of Alex's remit will be to contribute to the wider effort of implementing and monitoring an ambitious long-term strategy for continued growth on and off the pitch, which ties in with what I mentioned about revenue generation. What will be part of Alex's remit will be to contribute to the wider effort of implementing and monitoring an ambitious and long-term strategy for continued growth on and off the pitch, which ties in with what I mentioned above about revenue generation. Okay. So it seems that he's going to be the liaison between Gary Rowett, Scott Fitzgerald, the other football coaches. Like they just hired a guy, I forgot his name, Matthew something. He took over from Kenny Brown, the youth group head coach, whatever, manager, whatever. So Alex Aldridge is going to be coordinating all of those people, and then probably acting as a go-between between them and Kavanagh or JB, I guess. Alex will also have input into efforts regarding our proposed plans for a new training ground in West Kingsdown. This week has seen a lot of meetings take place with architects, design experts, the planning committee and councillors, all of which is a very time consuming but critical to the long-term future of the club. So he's the dog's body who's going to be going to all those meetings, it seems. Steve Kavanagh, he ain't got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. So that's what they brought him into. He can go to all these boring meetings with all these people, and then Kavanagh will just ring him up and say, give me the gist of it. That's what it seems that is. We are on track to submit a formal planning application in the very near future, and we will continue to liaise with all stakeholders, including residents, to ensure we're being as open and transparent as possible. The plans taking shape now really are quite exciting, if expensive. Interesting. Fans will of course be incredibly eager to view the plans. Part of the process will be a public consultation, at which stage all supporters will be able to have sight of what we expect to be a high-end modern training complex that is sympathetic to its environment and capable of taking the club to the next level. Interesting. I wonder if they'll have like a little stand there, because I know a lot of clubs do. Bristol City do, West Ham do. There are some more that have, so they have like a little stand. They have basically what is like a one stand non-league pitch in their training grounds that fans can attend, like the under 23s, the under 18s, shit like that. So I wonder if they're going to be doing something like that. I'm sure the players will like it, because I think there's a golf course right next door. Brands Hatch is on the other side as well. Although, do you think the Millwall players will? I know a few of them have flashy cars. Do you think they're allowed to drive them around a racetrack, shit like that? Was it in their contract that they're not allowed to do that? We got so many fucking injuries as it is. You think they'll ban them from fucking doing anything dangerous? But yeah, there you go. That is it. A lot to mull over there from Mr. Kavanagh. 5,600 views from Millwall fans. Very interesting about what that is. And my one takeaway from this was this little line here. General admission season ticket prices will be frozen. Again, people who have a way with words often have a way with words of pulling the wool over someone's eyes. So what does general admission mean, please, Mr. Kavanagh? Can you clarify that? I suppose we'll find out when they put the prices out. But they're saying that general admission season ticket prices will be frozen, and so that means, why would you say that? Surely you would say season ticket prices are frozen. So he didn't say that. He said general admission. So which season ticket prices are going up? I'm sure whoever's season ticket price is going up is going to have something to moan and complain about. But we'll see. So let's move on now. We've spent like 15 minutes on that alone. Moving on to news at den.co.uk. This is what you want to hear. Millwall's Tyler Burey has no interest in transfer speculation as Brentford linked with move. Tyler Burey has no interest in any transfer speculation around him after London rivals Brentford were said to be this week monitoring his progress. Burey, 21, scored his first 2 goals for Millwall last month in successive games against QPR at the Den and away to Derby County, the latter of which ultimately proved to be the winner. Former AFC Wimbledon winger Burey had already made a big impression on loan at Hartlepool United earlier this season, scoring 3 goals in 7 games before a hamstring injury kept him out for almost 4 months. Burey briefly returned to Hartlepool after his recovery, but it was clear the line saw him as part of their plans when he played against Crystal Palace in the FA Cup. Burey knows there is bound to be more reports of clubs taking an interest in him, but that doesn't bother him. I don't focus on that. My focus is on Millwall, on me working hard, enjoying my time here and loving football, Burey told News at Den. I want to keep learning new things, so all the other stuff on the outside, I just clear it out of my head. I know what I need to focus on, which is trying to start every week playing well and doing my job on the pitch. The other stuff, it's not my focus. My only focus is my football. Burey saw how Billy Mitchell and then Danny McNamara established themselves in the team after coming through the academy, and in the latter's case, following a similar route to Burey after going out on loan. You've got to use that as motivation, Burey said. If they can do it, they've worked hard and trained well, why can't you? They're good, quality players, and I believe in myself as well, so why can't I follow them? That's the way I thought, and the future spoke for itself, really. Burey had a major setback this season when he badly tore his hamstring last September and was out until December. It was hard at the start. I was very upset. I was struggling to get my head around it, he admitted. But slowly, I started to think positively and getting back into routine of working hard, yeah? It took me a while to get back to my normal mind process, but as soon as I started getting back to that, I could start seeing where the finish line was, yeah? Came quicker than I expected, bruh. So there you go. Tyler Burey saying what you wanna hear. Fuck off, Brentford. I'm a Millwall player. I want to play well for Millwall. Fantastic stuff. So let's move on now to, obviously, it wouldn't be a daily video without a daily injury update. So Millwall manager Gary Rowett provides detailed update on injured duo. We have the scans. The scans have come back. They came back second class post. Millwall manager Gary Rowett has been boosted by the news that the injuries to Sean Hutchinson and Mason Bennett are not as bad as initially feared. Both players came off in Saturday's 1-0 win over Sheffield United. Bennett suffered an oblique muscle injury and made way for George Evans inside the first 20 minutes at the Den. Hutchinson hobbled off in the second period with a calf problem. Rowett told the South London Press it looks quite positive to where we were a week ago or after Saturday. Hutch looks like he's going to be out 2 or 3 weeks as best case scenario. Yeah. So it's not as bad as we thought at the time, although that's just a timescale, not guaranteed. Mason is another that might not be as long as first thought. He might be a week to 10 days. If you'd asked me straight away after they came off, I'd have thought both would have been out for a significant amount of time, Hutch in particular. But to add insult to injury, we've had a couple of ill this week. There must be something going on around. I'm hoping it's not an issue by the weekend. We only had 9 training the other day. Almost back to COVID times. Holy fucking shit. 9 players training. 9 players training. We'll look a lot better if we can get through the next couple of weeks. People have to keep going, and I hope they can. And Nana Boateng has also been ruled out for about a month with ankle damage. It's been really disappointing. He has not been available because the likes of him and Tyler have shown what they are capable of, said Rowett. Holy fucking shit. So we've got people sick now as well. What is happening here with all these injuries? It's absurd, isn't it? It is absolutely absurd. It is what it is, though, isn't it? You got to do what you got to do. You got to play the cards you get dealt. Make the best of it. So, but it does suggest 4 wins in a row. We're losing more and more players each game that comes along, and then we've got to go to Reading away and win. A 5th game in a row might just be a little bit too much. Might just be a game too far. If it's not that game, then short turnaround Tuesday night, travelling up to Blackburn, very well might be that one. So there you go. Moving on now to this from Gary Rowett. This is from londonnewsonline.co.uk as well. Millwall manager Rowett explains why he won't set points target to reach championship playoffs. Okay, let's hear this one. Millwall manager Gary Rowett is not setting any kind of points target to reach the championship playoffs. The Lions are bidding to make it 5 championship victories in a row when they travel to Reading on Saturday, and a spike in results means the South London club are not completely out of the top 6 equation. Yeah, it's freaking weird as well. We've won 4 in a row, but we've only gone from 15th to 11th. We've hardly gone anywhere. You know what I mean? So how many do you have to win in a row to get in the fucking playoffs? 10 in a row? It's very weird, this league this year. But Rowett has explained why he won't be making any estimates on what it will take for Millwall to extend their campaign into mid-May. If I'm being really honest, the way the season has gone and the situation we've had with injuries and all sorts of stuff, I think as a group we've just tried to focus on a lot more being good at what we do and try and improve that performance. It's actually helped us. Once we start putting a points tally, I think it's still a massive step to take at this moment in time. So we just concentrate on trying to win games of football and getting a team out there. From about 10 games in, I've not really looked at it because every day it seems like, who have we got left? Who's training today? What can they do in training? Because we haven't got a lot of bodies. What can they do in training because we can't afford another injury? The last 3 or 4 weeks, while we've sort of crept up the table and the results have been good, it's not something I've looked at. I don't think it's even something the players have talked about. We spoke before the season about what the aim was and and that was ambitious, but once you start putting tallies and aims, stuff like that, we've come away from that. Indeed, take it game by game, because otherwise you can't see the wood for the trees. You cannot see the wood for the trees. Don't worry, don't look ahead, just look. Put your blinkers on and look at the next game. As soon as that's over, look at the next game. Look at the next game. Keep going game by game, and you'll get there. Journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So there you go. That's not the end. We've got one more. This now, a lot of papers and stuff are putting up their preview stuff early on Thursday. Normally they work till Friday, but this came up on londonnewsonline.co.uk. I don't want a basketball match. Reading boss Paul Ince on Millwall clash. Okay. Paul Ince has called on Reading to be more disciplined against Millwall and adds that their supporters are going to be huge if they are to win. The Lions are looking to make it 5 wins in a row for the first time since 2012. At the end of the Mayan calendar, the South London club's on 1-0 victory over Sheffield United last weekend means Millwall have picked up 4 clean sheets in the last 7 league matches, which dates back to the 2-0 victory over West Brom in February. Only Fulham, Cardiff and Derby County have found the back of Bart Biakowski's net in that run, with shoutouts coming against the Baggies, Preston North End, QPR and the Blades. Millwall beat Reading 1-0 in the reverse fixture at the Den in September, with Brentford netting the winner. The latter should be fit to face the Royals after recovering from a hamstring injury he suffered last month. Reading interim boss Ince said, "We've got to learn to be mentally tough when we're out of possession. Sometimes if you look at games, as soon as we lose the ball, we're so out of shape. There's so many gaps and we get counter-attacked. I don't want the next 12 games I'm in charge of to be like a basketball match. We attack, they attack. It's not entertaining for me and it will give me a heart attack." Well, I tell you what, it's entertaining for the fucking fans, mate. We love it. We love it at Millwall, don't we? When we go on a quick counter-attack. I think he's probably just given us a massive clue on how we could win that game, though. With Burey and Jed Wallace and Bennett going on the counter. Not only that. Here's the thing, though. Like, the results have come now. Maybe it's just coincidence, but the results have come when Benicphobe's been outside. If he comes back in the side and we lose, what's that gonna say? What is that gonna say? It's great we want to play entertaining football, but we're in a situation where we need to get some wins, and we can't afford to think it's we attack, they attack. We have to put some discipline into them when we're out of shape and out of possession. If you're in shape, it saves you so much to do. And that's what they don't fully realise. The fans are going to be our 12th man against Millwall. You only want fans who can understand the situation we're in. The Reading fans see that and they want us to do well. They understand how tough it is in this moment of time. They understand the politics behind it. That's important for the players to know they have the fans on their side. Being back at home, being in front of the fans could be the way for us to stay in this league. We're looking forward to it and we believe we can win home and away, but it will be nice to be back on the home. We need to bounce back from Blackpool. So there's Paul Ince, interim Reading manager, commenting on the match. Seems they have a problem with counter-attacks, so thanks for the clue, Mr. Paul Ince. I think he's just told Gary Rowett to win that game. And on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.